these evil ones created children to use as weapons and shields, using these children to shield themselves from getting karma and having the police and the courts take them down. These evil ones are using children as shields to try and protect themselves, to try and get out of all their crimes. They're also using these evil children that they create to target people. They're teaching their children to target people physically, and some of them are even teaching their children to cast black magic and curses and hexes at people. Now, God's definitely aware about all this going on, and if I'm aware about it, then God surely is. You know what I mean? Throughout my journey, especially in the last 8 years, 8 years, I've had children of all sorts, like 10-year-olds to 9 to 10-year-olds to say 15, you know what I mean? And maybe even, some gangs, were, like 18 and 20, I don't know, but, a lot of the, gangs that I've, come across that have intimidated me and threatened me have been basically 9 to 15-year-olds. Now, how fucking bullshit and sad is that to discover about our society, that all these evil ones out there are creating evil demonic children, having their children sell their souls too. I mean, some of them may be born, dark already, but some of them, they probably get their children to sell their souls to become dark, because I don't believe that every evil adult creates 100% all the time an evil child. I have a feeling, because I grew up around demons all my life, and I don't call them family, no matter what tarot readers, no matter what tarot readers say, no matter what spiritualists say, they are not my family, because I am divine, I am an angel, and I am nothing like them. Now, other people have, met these evil ones that I've been expressing throughout my journey, throughout my YouTube journey as well. People know, who I'm talking about. So I don't really need to, say their names. That's why I just say evil ones. It's easier, because now people know. I mean, if you've caught up, to my videos, then you know who I'm talking about, and it's possible that a lot of you have seen them, met them, and it's unfortunate that we've all met them, to be honest, because we all just want to live happily, free, safely, and in love with everyone, and Mother Earth and God, but these evil ones like to ruin our fucking days and nights. Some people actually, some spiritualists have their nights ruined by, all sorts of noises and, just evil people doing all sorts, like, I've even experienced it. But yeah, these children, man, they're wicked and they're dark and they are evil. Now, just because they're evil doesn't mean that God can't, influence them to change. Because, especially when it comes to God trying to teach his children, evil ones will go one of two ways. They'll either listen to God, or they'll just basically listen to what their parents told them and stay evil. So I know that I have influenced, dark evil people, to some degree at least, So by me knowing how influential I am, imagine what God can do. So I don't want to say that all children deserve what their parents, their adult parents, deserve, because these adult parents, and we shouldn't be calling them parents, because they're not true parents. They're monsters that are using divine reproduction, and it is divine. It's, you know, it's God's gifted, you know, it's God's gift to humanity to reproduce. God didn't have to, you know, give us the gift to, you know, reproduce, you know, but God did. So it's a divine. It came from God. Reproduction, and these evil ones, these demonic, you know, beings, these, well, not beings, these demonic, you know, these demonic ones in the flesh, these adults that, you know, use the word parent or parents as though they feel entitled to invade and disrupt and distort and destroy the natural ways God intended for life to be. Like reproduction, I don't think God intended for that to be dark and evil. You know, God created everything, yes, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like God wants everyone to live happily, free, in love, you know, with life and God and everything, you know, like God doesn't want us all, you know, fighting and arguing and, you know, little fucking kids approaching me like before and like they have in the past, like, you know, kids have in the past, you know, intimidating me for money and shit, you know. I've even had, you know, kids like around about, you know, 14, 15, you know, pull out knives, you know, and basically threaten me. Like, it's not that I'm scared of children, because I'm not. What's scary, where the fear can come from, is the fact that anything can happen at any time. Even though I'm protected, things can still happen. You know, and it's quite risky, you know. It's not right to actually, you know, for anyone to encounter any sort of hell like that. You know what I mean? That kind of, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, you know, what if I get stabbed, you know, like, because gang members teach all their recruits to carry weapons. So these people that, even though these ones before only begged me for money, I can guarantee you one of them would have had a knife on them, or some kind of, you know, blade, or some kind of sharp object. That's what they do. They don't just, you know, especially children, because they're so small and that. They don't just, you know, the gang leaders don't teach these, you know, evil ones, you know, to roam around without a weapon. You know, because these gangs, they want to commit crimes, and for the I know how they think, right? These gang leaders want all their, you know, recruits, all their, you know, members to be, you know, committing crimes, and they're not going to be able to commit crimes if they're not carrying weapons, because they're so, you know, scared of getting, you know, attacked or whatever, so they have to carry a weapon. Why do they have to fear being attacked? Because they're committing crimes. They're cowards. Excuse me. Clear my throat. Had to clear my throat. So yeah, like, I know God's going to deal with all these children on this planet that are demonic and doing evil shit. They deserve as much judgment and heavy karma that God dishes out to them. And those two that approached me before, they're going to be under judgment, if not already, and going through karma. Now, I told God to speak to them, to let them know what they did was wrong, but to also, I asked God to speak to their family. Now, that's what people can do, you know. If you get, you know, approached and intimidated and threatened, just try and remain calm. You know, believe that you'll get through it, as tough as it is, as scary as it is. You know, I know some people, you know, find these kind of, you know, situations like nothing, you know. But I've been through so much abuse, so much hell, that even me being so fearless, like people don't know, or maybe people do know. Maybe people do know how fearless I am. I am actually that fearless, and I will admit, I can't prove it to anyone at the moment, but I am speaking the truth. Just pray to God. Oh, in a past lifetime, this is how fearless I am. I spiritually grew, and I physically grew. You know how I talk about the spiritual path and, getting, and basically raising your energy, vibration, and frequency. That's how you ascend. Ascending basically is taking in more light and shedding as much, taking in as much light and shedding as much, like, toxic darkness, like, as in, like, programs and beliefs and, like, like, what you think about yourself and all sorts of, like, shadow unconsciousness, that people, carry, that, weighs them down. That's the shadow. That's what you call the shadow. The light, is full of clarity and information and just, you know what I mean, like, absolute, absoluteness in health. That's what the light brings. When you clear out all the toxic, shadow, because, we always have light and dark. Even though when you move past duality, it's all light, but at the same time, there's always darkness still. You know what I mean? You can't. Even when you move past duality, darkness will always remain. Especially since so many people are yet to wake up, and so many people are yet to heal a lot. This new earth and this heaven on earth journey God has set for humanity isn't just one lifetime. So all those that feel like they're going to miss out on heaven on earth, do your best to stay alive and commit to healing and the spiritual path and getting closer to God, especially. That's the number one, getting close to God. I briefly mentioned in a previous video in the comments, I posted, last night a couple of things about the spiritual journey and everything. Well, like as much as I could, like in just 2 comments. And yeah, so I've explained a bit, about, how to get on the path and what it entails, and so I hope people find what I express pretty easy to understand. I don't say understand or overstand, because the words you speak, you cast, are actually spells. That's why it's called spell casting. That's why it's called spelling. You know what I mean? When you spell a word, when you spell a word, whether you voice it or whether you, do it on paper, you're still spelling. You're still spell casting. It's a spell. That's why everyone's words affect us, whether it's with love or with hate. It all affects us. But just trying to get a bath in a pothole puddle, and then a car comes along and it has to fly away for a bit. Oh, that would suck for birds. Oh, I'm relaxing. Yeah, I'm feeling cool now. Oh no, I have to get out now. Quick. The vehicle's coming. It's going to crush me. Got to get away. Oh. But it's back there now. As soon as the vehicle went, came back. Oh. Yeah, so I don't say overstand or understand, because if you say overstand, in context, you're basically saying that you're over someone, that you're above someone. And you don't say that you understand, because no one is under anyone. These evil ones that think that they own humanity and they have every right to do what they want to humanity, God's children, God's innocent ones. These evil ones think that they can do whatever they want, including get their children to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? How sick and twisted and wicked and evil and dark is that? Like, so even these evil ones are not above us, and they're not under us. I mean, people, have free will to, say what they want. That's on them. But literally, no one is above anyone, and no one is below anyone. And I'm not above anyone, and I'm not below anyone. So I say understand, because when it comes to life and the spiritual journey, even the physical journey, everything comes from within. So all your troubles in life stem from within, like blockages, energy stagnation, all sorts. Um, Now, I don't know what I was saying before. I started mentioning about, understanding and, the other two, understanding and overstanding. But I'll leave it here because I'm so exhausted, and it's not easy to sleep during the day for me because of all the noise. You can hear the noise probably, or at least some of it throughout this video, excuse me. Society is loud, when you're homeless. I did rest earlier though. I needed to, I couldn't, my eyes couldn't actually stay open much longer. Literally was able to get a little bit of rest, which was good. But I went into a motel recently, and I literally couldn't sleep. Last night actually every night I was in there after getting paid, and I just spent 700 and something on, I think it was 751, but I can't remember how much. It was over 700 bucks, because I needed. That's how exhausted I am. Like literally, I get the disability pension. I get just over $1,000 a fortnight, not weekly. I don't know how Americans get paid. I don't know if they get paid weekly or fortnightly. If you're unemployed, I don't know. But in Australia, you get you can get in Australia you can get paid weekly as well, but yeah, for me anyway, it's best I get paid fortnightly, because I can't handle budgeting with a weekly amount, because you get less, because it's weekly, and so imagine 500 a week. I wouldn't be able to do it probably. That's why I wait till I get my full pay so I can get into a motel. You know what I mean? Like, because if I have to spend 600 to 700, sometimes it's been 800 and 900, you know what I mean? Like, spending most of my pay literally, just about, It's been bad, Yeah, I literally couldn't get sleep in this last motel I was in. I don't know why. The moment I arrived there, like, I just felt this darkness, this, like, clearly, someone was doing some, dark magic over me, like, because it's like as soon as I arrived there, that's when I started really feeling like, shit was gonna happen. Like, I was gonna not be able to get sleep. I was gonna be restless. I was gonna be frustrated and stuff, and stressed. And that's what happened. Yeah. So even when I spend 700 bucks, let's just say 700, I still couldn't get sleep. Like, the rest I had, the small earlier, even though I can actually sleep easier on the streets than a motel, it seems. Sometimes, like when I'm feeling a bit better, I can actually sleep in a motel, but the way I'm feeling now isn't the first time I've been feeling this. I know they're casting magic over me. Like, I'm so exhausted, and because I'm so exhausted, my energy vibration and frequency is lower. So I'm more, I'm more open to spiritual warfare. And so yeah, I'm able to get attacked, because I'm weakened, because homeless is no joke. Especially when, like, I'm the leader for humanity that's trying to, one, work with God to take down all these evil, corrupt ones, but also, unite humanity and help humanity heal and ascend. We hope. I'm, can you see my blue eyes? Like, my eyes are struggling to stay wide open. Like, that's why I'm trying to, like, force my eyes to be open, you know what I mean? Like I literally can't control my eyes falling, my eyelids and that. But yeah, it's not right that, I mean, it's bad enough seeing all these adults, roam around, freely, thinking they can roam around freely and target people and commit crimes, but then, like, then they're cramping the fucking hamstring. And then, they teach their children to fucking. They teach their children to be criminals and demonic. So it's not right, you know what I mean? They're all going to be stopped. And whether they have to be stopped the hard way or, by God, or, the soft way by God, you know what I mean? It's up to them. It's up to those children. It's not up to the children's parents, because everyone has free will. Everyone has free will, and these children also have free will. Just because they're children doesn't mean they're exempt from karma, from judgment, from if God made, if God decided to put them through the courts, the juvenile courts, God would, you know what I mean? But, that's up to God, like. But, God will definitely make, these children pay as well, because God, I know, throughout my own story about what's been happening to me, I know God's taken out some children because they were evil. And if they had have grown up getting more powerful with their evilness, they would have, who knows how many other people would have suffered. You know what I mean? So I really hope that people listen to this message slow and pay attention and listen to what I'm saying, because I'm not saying that I will personally do anything to these children. I am saying that I am allowing God to handle these children. And I have notified God whenever someone, whether adult or child, God knows who's been attacking me in some way. Don't mind me. I had to pay attention to something. When you're on the spiritual path, how when you're on the spiritual path, you learn about the signs and synchronicities that God and your ancestors and your divine team and the universe, basically, and nature, Mother Nature. There's all everything is a sign and synchronicity if you're open to it. numbers are signs and synchronicities, certain letters, maybe certain names, certain words, and I'm not going to, explain what the sign and synchronicity I saw was. I'm just explaining about signs and synchronicities. Um, what you see in the clouds can be signs and synchronicities. If you see a certain, cloud that looks like, say, a tree, for example, you know what I mean? Like, that could be a sign and synchronicity because, you're noticing something out of the ordinary, you know what I mean? So if you see anything out of the ordinary that just pops, that's a sign and synchronicity for you to pay attention to. That's coming from God. And so even though I was paying attention, my peripherals picked up on that sign and synchronicity, the energy was just shouting. It was just like literally, trying to get my attention, through my peripherals. And I was like, and I had to pay attention, because you can't ignore what God's trying to tell you, When you ignore everything that God's trying to tell you and do for you, that's why people go through hard times. And I'm not perfect, so I make mistakes too, you know what I mean? I go through hard times sometimes because I'm not listening to my intuition or what God's saying, like. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just because I'm so exhausted and everything, like, I can't always pay attention to absolutely everything as well as defend myself, look after myself. Like, sometimes, you miss the messages that God, is trying to give you, like God doesn't want us to be able to, master everything and do everything, effortlessly, even though that's what I've, tried to aim to do. It's not perfection. It's literally, knowing we humans have the same areas of life and we all have the same opportunities to work on every area of our lives. And that's what I do. I work on every area of my life. It's not perfection. I always strive to be my best self. That's why I got on the spiritual path. I knew that there was reasons why I was getting beaten up all the time before I got on that spiritual path. I knew I was going through hell for reasons, and I knew that by getting on the spiritual path, it would lead to becoming the answer, the solution to me living my dream life, the life I deserve. And so I always strive to do my best, to be my best, because you can actually be pain free. Like, the more you grow, the more you heal, the more you shed, the more you ascend, literally, the more powerful you become in your divine light, in your divine energy. The energy you feel within you, that's divine energy. Now, it may not feel like divine energy compared to mine. Don't compare anything. I've got to learn not to compare as well, but I'm just using that word to explain. I should try and think of a different word, actually. Because my light is so expansive, because I've, grown in every area of my life. It's literally the inner work and the outer work I've been doing throughout my life, to master myself, That's why my divine energy is so expansive, so powerful, so light, like it feels light. It's so full of love. It's just an endless list about my energy and how amazing it is. Now, everyone can achieve that energy, but you do, like, if people know that my life has been brutal, you do have to go through hard times when you get on the spiritual path. To be able to heal and shed and ascend, God does put us through our trials and tribulations. Let's just say trials and tribulations. The other word I said before, I'm so exhausted, probably sounded scary, you know what I mean? Like, but let's just say trials and tribulations. We do have to go through hard times to overcome, what we're struggling with. Sometimes what we struggle with are what people do to us, but a lot of the times what we struggle with also it's within us, because when we go through, well, when everyone, was born, when everyone came out of the void, the infinite darkness, just before God, gave us a soul, a spirit, we all accumulated our own karma, our own personal karma in the void by how we responded to other energies. And then when God gave us, our soul and our spirit and our body, and when we incarnated on earth, we already had our own personal karma to work through, several lifetimes, countless lifetimes maybe. I mean, the healing journey never ends. Every journey, when it comes to spirituality, it never ends. I've been teaching God a lot, the divine a lot, my ancestors a lot, because of how much I've been able to achieve, and how much I've grown. So even though God knows everything, like, He doesn't actually know everything, because I actually have taught God, a lot as well, and my ancestors and the divine. Like, no one knows everything. Like, God does know a lot, and He has access to be knowing a lot, but a lot more than us, a lot more than us, because He's God, but He doesn't know everything. Like, because even God's a little bit imperfect as well. You know what I mean? He does make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, He's admitted to betraying me because He thought that I wasn't going to make it. You know what I mean? Like, not betraying me, but like leaving me for dead. Like, it kind of still is a betrayal, but like, it's not as bad when you say forsaken compared to betrayal. Betrayal sounds like absolute the worst, but like, I can, I don't know, I must have healed my abandonment and forsaken you know wounds. You know what I mean? Because God has forsaken me, but it's not affecting me as much as it used to, actually, which is good. I've only just noticed this, actually. I'm glad I brought that up, because even though it's true, God did forsake me, because He didn't think I was going to make it. I've been through that brutal of a life, you know. But now that I've woken up to, everything through all my exhaustion, I had to wake up through everything I went through. I had to become aware of everything that was going on in my life, and like, exactly, the kind of plot that was against my life, And now that I've woken up to all that, God is actually protecting me and, helping me. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying before. Hey, is that raining? Yeah, cool. It's starting to rain at least. Little drops. Be good if it actually rains. It's quite hot here. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great day and take care. Thank you.